Good morning, it's Saturday 10th of June 2017. This is Sylvia Shivamurthy and you're listening to the newspaper reviews on www.adavaneng.com. Let's now look at the paper highlights from today's newspapers. The top highlight in Daily News says, nearly 8,869 million rupees required for post-flood reconstruction, says Minister Yapa. Nearly 8,869 million rupees is required to rectify the damages caused by the recent catastrophic floods and landslides, Disaster Management Minister Anura Priyadarshana Yapa said yesterday. He said this amount can be recovered from the Insurance Trust Fund due to the insurance policy that the government has taken covering all the people and the houses in the country. The minister made these observations yesterday in response to a query raised by Janata Vimukthi Peramuna MP Sunil Handunethi. The minister was responding to the adjournment motion. You have said that 8 billion rupees is needed to rectify the damages caused by the floods, but we need to know if the Insurance Trust Fund is paying this amount. The highlight in the middle says, hung Parliament in Britain. A defiant Prime Minister Theresa May vowed yesterday to form a new government to lead Britain out of the EU despite losing her majority in a snap general election and facing calls to resign. What the country needs more than ever is certainty, May said. The Conservative leader had called Thursday's vote in a bid to extend her majority and strengthen her hand in the looming Brexit negotiations, but her grumble backfired spectacularly. Although winning the most seats, her centre-right party lost its majority in Parliament, meaning it will now rely on support from Northern Ireland's Democratic Unionist Party. Another highlight says, bribery case against former Minister Priyankara Jayaratne. The Bribery Commission yesterday filed a case against former Civil Aviation Minister Priyankara Jayaratne and his private secretary for causing unlawful loss to the government. This is for appointing an individual as a development plan coordinating officer of the Civil Aviation Authority contrary to the Civil Aviation Act. The Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption filed this case against former Minister Priyankara Jayaratne and his private secretary B. Dayavansha under Section 70 of the Bribery Act on 5 charges. And the highlight at the bottom says, John regrets losing temper with media. Tourism Development and Christian Affairs Minister John Amaratunga regretted last Thursday's incident where he was compelled to ask journalists to leave his residence. He said the newfound press freedom is being abused by a section of the media to bring the government into disrepute. He said some journalists have no respect for the truth nor the basic decency to report on facts, the minister's media secretary and former Western Provincial Minister Lawrence Madiwala said in a statement, clarifying the circumstances that led the minister to respond to the journalists at the time. Let's now look at the paper highlights in Daily Mirror. The top highlight says 8 billion rupees needed for repairs after recent disaster. Another highlight says, I have no connection to the BBS or the recent attacks, says Gotha. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa yesterday denied having any connections to the Bodubala Sena or to the recent attacks on Muslim-owned business establishments. There's another highlight which says, PM meets Commonwealth Secretary General. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who met Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland in New York, had extended her an invitation to visit Sri Lanka, the Prime Minister's office said in a statement yesterday. The highlight in the middle says, Sinhala Ravaya condemns Rajitha's statement. Sinhala Ravaya General Secretary Magal Kande Sudatha Thera yesterday condemned the statement made by the cabinet spokesman Rajitha Senaratne that BBS General Secretary Galagodatte Nyanasara Thera was being protected by a minister. Another highlight says, Pinto's report on Sri Lanka to be submitted to UNHRC on Monday. The report on the Special Rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers, Pinto on her mission to Sri Lanka is scheduled to be tabled on Monday at the ongoing 35th session of the UN Human Rights Council. And the highlight at the bottom says, Hashim Lakshman Yapa dispute resolved. Fisheries Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said yesterday the dispute between Public Enterprise Development Minister Kabir Hashim and State Minister Lakshman Yapa Abeyewardena over office space had been resolved. And now let's move to the paper highlights in Ceylon today. The top highlight says, Theresa May vows to lead Britain forward. Another highlight says, flood damage is stunning 8 billion rupees. Yapa acknowledges early warning could have saved lives. The highlight in the middle says, 400 million rupees lost in Chogam vehicle saga. The Auditor General's department has pointed out to the government that a sum of 400 million rupees had been lost to the state following the decision taken by the former regime to import 82 new vehicles ahead of the 2014 Commonwealth Heads of State Summit meeting held in Colombo. The Aegis department said those vehicles had been brought down to providing state-of-the-art transport facilities to the visiting heads of states and government personnel. The report has revealed that this loss had been incurred when these vehicles had been resold at a discounted price. The highlight in the middle says, local journals win German Media Award. For the first time, 2 Sri Lankan journalists have won the German Media Open Eye Award, and they will travel to Germany this month to receive the award. And the highlight at the bottom says, unrealistic demands snag gazette. Ministers want all subjects under new portfolios. That's all for today's newspaper highlights, and we'll get back to you with more news tomorrow. Thank you.